Everything that we're trying to give over is what we find in this week's parasha, which is Ba'al Oischa. Like Ba'al Oischa Saneres. So, the Gemara says, why does it say Ba'al Oischa Saneres? And in your making the flame go up, it's a funny thing. Ba'al Oischa Saneres. It should say that when you light the candles, not when you make the candle go up. It's a funny way. In your rising up of the candle. No, when you light the candle. So what does it mean? Ba'aloischa, ba'alotecha. When you make the candle go up. So look at Rashi. Rashi says that the Kohen, when he puts the candle to the wick to light that candle, you have to leave the candle there until the flame goes up on its own. You ever seen that before? When you light a candle, either you can pull the candle away right when the candle's like fledgling, just starting to get going, or you can leave the candle there for an additional amount of time that the entire flame comes to its full strength, and then you pull the candle away. So what would be the reason to say that you should leave the candle on the wick for such an additional amount of time that the flame is powerful on its own and it's not fledgling anymore? Because if you pull the candle away too quickly, if the flame is fledgling, it might go out. It's not quite, he's not strong enough yet. But if you leave the candle on the flame long enough that the flame has become his own powerful flame, then he doesn't need the flame of the candle anymore. He's himself a powerful flame. So everything we're trying to do in yeshiva is to light you guys up, is to light up this generation, that you should be candles that have light yourself, that no longer depend on the original candle. You have the sufficient power to then go out and light other people's candles. Ner la Aleph. That we give a candle never goes, the candle doesn't lose anything of itself. That's the amazing thing about a candle. You can keep giving and giving and giving. It never doesn't, oh, you're taking away from the original candle. You're not. The candle can keep building and giving more light and more light until we light up this crazy world of ours. That's our whole goal right now. It's always been the goal. The main point about the beginning of the parish is we're trying to keep the candle on the wick. The wick is the students. So long that they become powerful themselves. And at that point, then they're independent. That's why I'm so encouraging of having independent learning skills, to really be Jewishly literate, to learn on your own. So I'm going to see quite a bit inside today. Okay, get the words, see it, live it. We're speaking about the messianic encounter of Yaakov and Esav, of Jacob and Esav, which is something that's happening not just in the past, it's something that's happening in every single generation inside of our hearts right now. That the place inside of me called Jacob is encountering the place inside of me called Esav. And the place inside of me called Jacob is everything that's meaningful. It's the chachma, it's the sun, it's the wisdom and everything. And the place inside of me called Esav is the fool, is the old foolish king, is the kingdom of evil. That all he wants is whatever feels good in the moment, and it doesn't have any bigger vision of godliness, and it's trying to shut godliness out of the world. And you'll notice when that war happens, what happens, right? Esav comes, and he comes with 400 men, right? To fight Yaakov. And what does Yaakov, we saw many times last learning session, what was Yaakov continuing to tell Esav? Chaim, I have chaim. I have chaim. Hashem gave me, graced me. We said the chaim, the ches, of course, is the chachma, and everything is the sun, and the nun. The nun is the moon. And then we said when a person could take the ches and the nun and he could fuse them into his life, what does that mean? What letter does he get? He gets the sav, right? The last letter of the alphabet, the sav. And the sav is a very powerful letter. We explained the medrash that in the times of the destruction of the temple, so the angel Gabriel came and put the letter sav on everybody's foreheads. Remember that? And a tav could either mean tichye, you will live, or tamus, you'll die. And we hope, and it's a very powerful image of going around Jerusalem at the times of the destruction and seeing everyone had these tavs on their forehead. Everyone had it engraved upon their foreheads. Some had it in ink, some had it in blood. The tzaddikim had it in ink. The wicked had it in blood on their foreheads. Who will live and who will die? It sounds like Rosh Hashanah. Mi yichye v'mi yomus. Who will live and who will die? It's all in Rosh Hashanah determined. And that was the Sav. And we said when you put the Ches and the Nun and the Sav together, you have Nachas, you have Chatan. And Yaakov comes to Esav and he says, I have the Chain. And I put the Chain so deep into me that it's a Sav. It's carved into me. And Sav, of course, is the gematria, the numerical value of 400. So he said, I have my own 400. Ooh. I don't need your 400 men. I can destroy your 400 men with my Sav. With the Sav, with the Nachas. That I have a 400 that's carved into me, the Chain, that's going to destroy your 400 goons. Okay? That's what we're up to right now. Look inside. Let's really see this inside. Binyamin. Who is the only son of Jacob that wasn't there? Binyamin. Eloi Haya Az. He was not there at that time. Everyone have the spot? Ashalev, you want to show them? Where we are, we're at the... We just turned the page in the regular edition.
Yeah. Where are we relative to without the
Ali de Yaakov. Al Kain Yaakov. First, yeah, there we go. Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Ubinyamin. Okay, beautiful. Ubinyamin loy haya az, and Binyamin was not there. The Al Kain bercha Yosef b'Chain. So Binyamin was not there. He didn't get the blessing of Chain from Yaakov, but who gave the continuation of the blessing of Chain? Yosef. Kamosha kosav Elokim yon yachnecha b'ni. And God will bestow grace upon you. V'davka Yosef ha'yochel levarcha b'Chain. And specifically Yosef had the power to give and bestow this Chain, this grace, this charm to Binyamin. Why was it Yosef and not the other sons? Ki Yosef ha'yakolel, because Yosef kolel means it was included. He was comprised by Yosef and Bechinas Yaakov, because Yosef had the most essential qualities of his father Yaakov. He was the most like Yaakov, and we explained that before when Yosef was about to sin and do that illicit act, that he saw the face of his father. He saw a reflection of his father. It says that he saw his father in a window, so to speak. A chaloin. That's lahat l'kner Chanukah, not for now. Kamosha Kosav Eila told us Yaakov Yosef, like the verse itself testifies. These are the offspring of Yaakov Yosef. It lists the offspring of Yaakov as if Yosef is the offspring, the main offspring of Yaakov. These are all bringing verse proofs of the deep connection of Yaakov, who embodied that grace, and that Yosef was a continuation of that, and therefore Yosef could give the blessing of grace to Binyamin. Ki huaya ikar told Yosef, ki Yaakov and Yosef kechada chashive. Yaakov and Yosef were like one. Val Kain, and therefore, Ne'emar be-Yosef, it says at the end of the Torah about Yosef, Bechor Shoyroi, Bechor, a sovereign one, the Bechor, a first one, Shoyroi, you're like an ox. Yosef is always compared to an ox. Hadar Loi, the one that has beauty. Hadar means like Hider Mitzvah, Ziv Loi. Yosef was very beautiful. He's the only male in the Torah that the Torah says that he was physically beautiful. That he had a beautiful image. He looked gorgeous. Yalad, the Ale Ayin that it says about Yosef in the Medrash, that he'd be curling his payas, and the women would climb up on the roofs and up the walls, and they would be peeling the potatoes to make the food, but they'd be so gaga looking at Yosef and Tzaddik, Joseph, that they start peeling off their fingers. Oy vavoy, they're peeling the potatoes. They didn't realize that it wasn't a potato anymore. He was that's horrible. They should go get medical attention. But it brings out that they were so in awe, that he had a beauty that was so striking. And obviously it doesn't mean just the physical beauty. He had chaim. He was so attractive. Even when Joseph went into the dungeon, it says that they all liked him. Everybody was in an Egyptian dungeon. That's basically the worst place you ever want to end up. You don't want to go there. There's a lot of low lives there and a lot of really negative, besides all the idol worship and black magic happening there. And Yosef is going around like, guys, why are you so down? They called him an Ish Matzliach. He said, Baruch Hashem, I'm alive. And he would go around the jail cell making people feel good about themselves. He was a very attractive person, chaim, like what we're talking about. Like we started in the first day. If chaim means that there's something beautiful about that person, yeah, sure.
Does that mean that if you have that pain so deep inside of you that it doesn't spark that jealousy? Like it's so genuine that somebody can't be mad at it.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they know your intent is for others.
Yes, it has to. Even Yosef had to keep pulling it out more and more. The brothers made machlokas with him. They didn't realize, they thought it was something external. But in the end, it was so internal. It was so real, and that's why the brothers in the end, when they finally reunited, said, Yosef, you're right. Said, you're right. In the end, he was right. He was the dreamer, but he was right. That chayin is a very deep thing. It's something that is so gorgeous, that is so beautiful. And that's really what Rebbe Nachman's talking about, the chayin of Klal Yisrael. The chayin of Klal Yisrael, the whole world will see. That there's a deep, deep beauty that's able to bring all of humanity to their greatest level. To pull out the goodness in every single part of humanity. That's our goal. To have all of humanity achieve the greatest level of self-transformation and beauty. Not a fake beauty, not sheker achein, the hevel hayofi, but deep beauty. Humanity is beautiful. All of humanity is made in the likeness of God, but Tselem Elokim. And our mission is to pull that out. That's the chayin. Like we said, chayin is noyach, it's reflective. You see in somebody with chayin your highest self. That's the job. And how do we get that? Through learning Torah. That's what we began the whole Torah with. Yalas chayin. It's malach chayin aloimdeh. When you learn Torah, it makes you have chayin. And it has to be chayin, the koyach, to learn, with strength. Not Torah like you read in the Washington Post. Chayin, with koyach. So says the Torah. Bechor, that Yosef is called the Bechor. It literally means a sovereign one, an independent one, the first one. But it's like we're saying the whole Torah. Bechinas ha-seichel shebechol davar. The Bechor is the firstborn. Zeh shoyre lashon is staklus. An ox also comes from the same languages to look at something. You have to look for the God point in everything. And when you do this, hadar loy tirgum unkelis, and the commentator Unkelis, you guys heard of Unkelis, the great convert, maybe one of the greatest converts ever to join the Jewish people. Unkelis Hager, from a Greek convert, even his name is suggestive of his origins, became one of the greatest sages of all time and wrote the entire Aramaic translation on the Torah, Unkelis Hager. So he said about this verse, he said, what does it mean? Hadar Lai, Ziv Lei. That there's light shining from him. Remember, what is Yaakov? He's the light, he's the sun. So too, Yosef has this light, this sun-like quality. Ki hasechel meir lei b'chol davar. And that's why specifically, who knows, when did Yaakov feel he was able to go back to fight Esav? Only when Yosef was born. Then he had that full power of the light that could combat the evils of the evil kingdom of Esav. And that light is so strong that it can shine even in the darkest places of my life, even where I think that Hashem is not found. It will shine for you. That God consciousness, every part of your life will shine. Because when you can look at the God point in everything, and you could mekarev, like the lashon of Kiev, you could bring it back to Hashem Yisborach. Now Rebbe Nachman is going to quote a Gemara in Baba Basra Ayin Gimel, a very interesting piece of the oral tradition. one of the most cryptic Gemaras you'll ever hear in your life. You ready to hear a very cryptic, mystical Gemara? Here we go.
It's all cryptic.
Well, some of it's much more, if your Lamborghini hits his, Bugatti, so you gotta pay. That's not so cryptic. We understand that. It's mishpatim. It's, basic civil law. This is a Gemara though that's just, it's like soaked with Kabbalah. It's soaked with mysticism. Look what the Gemara says. The Gemara in Babasa. Ze perish ma she'amar Rabba bar Chana. There was a statement that Rabba, the son of Bar Chana, made. What was that statement that he made? It's the following. Hi Gala. There's a certain wave. A gal is a wave in the ocean. A gal. The person's name was Gal. Gal means a wave. Yeah. There's a wave. Hi Gal. This wave, the matba l'sfinta, and the wave sunk a ship. That's not a good thing. I mean, we don't wish that upon anybody. But this gal, this wave had sunk a ship. Matba is to sink. Sfinta is like sfina, is a ship. It's good to put these words into your Likutei Maharat. Mischaze, something interesting. Mischaze means you can see, it's revealed on that wave. Meaning the wave that sunk the ship, that buried and sunk the Titanic. No, that was an iceberg, excuse me. All the other ships.
The one that hit the cargo ship in the middle of the Atlantic.
That one, that if you look carefully, you would see something on the tip of that wave. There was something that was being suggested before the wave actually sunk the ship. There's something there, if you look at the wave, that was concerning.
Almost like when you say
foreshadowing.
That wave, that thing was violent. Even though it doesn't have.
That's right.
Intent with it.
That's right. We're going to see that there's something on that wave that's already to be concerned about. Mischazi, you could see. Mischaz means to see in Aramaic. Kitzutzisa, that there is. Kitzutzisa is a spark. A nitza, it's a spark. It's like there's like a little flash. Denura chivarta bereisha. Nur means a white fire at its tip. So the simple meaning of this would be, whitecaps. I did a lot of canoeing down fast rivers, any Colorado River Chevra. So whitecaps, white. When the waves get moving, it gets white, especially the tip. When you see the tips are getting white, things are happening. So the Gemara says, this wave that sinks the ship, if you look carefully at the tip of the wave, it's not just a white cap, it's white fire. There's a spark of white fire there at the tip. And if you see that there's the Rashbam, you guys see there? It's almost like on the side of this piece. The Rashbam is quoting, this is Rashi's grandson, by the way. The Rashbam, who's explaining the simple meaning of the Gemara, means what is this white fiery tip? What is this alluding to? Says the Rashbam, Eish Lavana. What is this white fire? Umalach mazikhu. It's a destructive angel. There's a destructive angelic force. Just so people know, angels are not all good. There are good angels, there's ministering angels, and there are destructive angels, there's prosecuting angels. And angels are not like it's not like a Cupid or something. Angels aren't physical. Angels are conceptual. There are angels that help us, and there are angels that are prosecuting against us. When you do a mitzvah, you get an angel that helps you. Oisa mitzvah achas, like it says in Pirkei Avos. Person does one mitzvah. Koinaloi kat sanegor achas. He acquires for himself a good lawyer that's going to help him. That's called a good angel. He's speaking for you. He's ministering on your behalf. someone does a sin, God forbid, he acquires for himself a prosecuting angel that's going to prosecute against him in a court of law. Not just the one up there, that's the scary one. Even down here, that he starts presenting reasons why things shouldn't go so well. That's why our whole life is about living Torah mitzvahs. To be careful to have mitzvahs and not to do what Hashem does not want. That's just the system that's set up. And to know that, and to live within that system. And the more we do good, the more protection we not only make for ourselves, we make for our families, we make for all of humanity. You do one mitzvah, you're creating legions of angels that will protect the whole world, humanity. That's the power of our actions that we have. It's an important thing to remember. So says the Rashbam, the simple meaning of this angel, of this tip of this that's about to sink this ship. This white fire is there's a damaging angel. There's something there that's destructive. It's trying to, well, now it's going to just take down the ship. So what do? I'm going to leave you almost on a, well, not almost. I'm mamish going to leave you on a cliffhanger here. I'm going to tell you the rest of the Gemara, and you're going to have to scratch your heads for the next 24 hours until you figure this Gemara out, until we give the explanation of it. Umechinan le be'alvasa, and you have to hit it. How do you stop this force? Machina means to hit, lay it, the tip of this wave. Be'alvasa, with a stick. You have to hit it. You're thinking, what is it going to do? I hit the wave with a stick, I'm going to go into the water, I'm going to go down with the boat. Okay, obviously this is talking about something much deeper and conceptual. You have to hit it with a stick, not any stick, the chakik alei, that is engraved, a stick that's carved with the following Hebrew letters, Ekya asher ekya. I will be that which I will be. End of Gemara. Probably the simplest Gemara you ever saw in your life. Cliffhanger? Yes. Hopefully Moshiach will teach us that today. Amen. Call to.